and thanks for watching. This is Linda Bartolucci, owner of InkStampandScrap.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make this card. We made it recently at one of our card classes. I like it because it uses up some scraps of designer paper, and it also has a masculine touch to it because I'm always looking for ideas on what to make for the guys in my life. So the first thing I'm going to do is take a half sheet of white cardstock, fold it in half, and then I use my bone folder just to make sure that the crease is nice and tight. The second layer of the card is a quarter sheet of basic gray cardstock. I'm going to put a little bit of snail on that and get it right on there in the middle of my card. I cut the basic gray to 4 by 5 1/4. So now I have the base of my card. The next thing I want to do is add my designer series paper. So I've already cut my 4 pieces of designer series paper to 1 3/4 by 2 1/2, and I just want to layer them in the opposite diagonal corners. Just makes it easier for me to see where everything is going. So I'm going to take the first striped piece of paper and I'm going to put it up here in this corner, and then I'm going to take the second striped piece of paper and I'm going to put it in this corner down here. Then the next thing I'm going to do is take the gray papers and get them in the opposite other 2 corners. So that's going to go down here, and this one is going to go right up here. There we go. Okay, so now I have the basic part of my card. Now I need the happy birthday greeting from Delightful Dozen and a gray mat for it. So here's my gray mat, already cut down to 2 1/4 by 3 1/4, and then I just need my piece of white cardstock that I cut down to 2 by 3. And the way I knew to cut it to 2 by 3 is I measured the wood block. It's 3 by 2, so if I make the cardstock the same size, everything's going to work out great. Now this is a really chunky phrase and it looks really great, but it only looks really great if it's on perfectly straight. So I'm going to use my Stamp-A-Majig in order to make it work just perfect. I've already pre-stamped the stamp on the Stamp-A-Majig plate, so I'm going to take a little bit of Dado, put it on the back of the white cardstock so it doesn't shift around, and then I'm going to lay the stamp image over where I want it to be. I want it to be centered, I want it to be straight, all important. And then I'm going to take my Stamp-A-Majig tool, hang on one second, move it over just a little, make sure it's really straight. I'm going to take my Stamp-A-Majig tool and line it up really nice and tight with that plastic sheet, and then I'm going to ink up my stamp in the basic gray ink, and I'm going to slide it down. The left side and top of the stamp are pushing against the Stamp-A-Majig, so I get a nice straight image. I did it on my grid paper, first of all because I can get a nice straight line, second of all because I can just kind of pop it up like this so it doesn't get ruined after I get that nice stamp image. Then I can put a little bit of snail on the back of it, and I can glue it right to this gray mat. Now I want the gray mat to pop up just a little bit more, so what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to add dimensionals. And if you remember on the model card here, we actually have 2 little flaps or tags of basic gray satin ribbon peeking out. So in order to do that on this side, I want to have extra dimensionals. So I'm going to put 3 on this side pretty close together so I have plenty of spots for my ribbon to be. And then I'm just going to put 2 on the other side to balance things out. So I'm going to take these off. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Then I'm going to clip myself just a little piece of satin ribbon. Don't need much. Again, remember the point of this card is to use some stuff up. So if you have some extra ribbon just laying around, you can use that. So I'm going to take my ribbon and I'm going to make it into the shape of those flags that you saw on the card. And then I'm going to kind of eyeball where I want them to be, and if I need to trim them I can, but I can feel the dimensionals getting a hold of them so they're not going to go all over the place. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is just put this right on the card, centering it like so. And then the last thing I'm going to do is just clip my flags a little bit because they're a little longer than I wanted them to be. And now I have my finished card. So I hope you enjoyed this video today. Gives you an idea of what to do for a masculine card and a great way to use up some ribbon and designer series paper scraps. Have a great day!